Greetings and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Congresswoman Yvette Clarke, Chair of the Congressional Black Caucus for the 119th session of Congress, co-chair of the House Haiti Caucus, and proud representative of New York's 9th Congressional District, covering Central and Southwest Brooklyn. I want to, in absentia, who should be joining us shortly, thank Leader Jeffries and my fellow co-chairs of the House Haiti Caucus, Congresswoman Presley, Surfalis McCormick, and Congresswoman Frederica Wilson, for their work, and each of our colleagues who have joined us today, Congresswoman Grace Meng, for demonstrating true leadership and moral clarity on behalf of the people in desperate need of both. As we all know, too painfully well, temporary protected status for Haiti will expire in a matter of days. And as a direct consequence of that grave injustice, the 350,000 Haitian TPS holders living in this nation, who we have come to call our neighbors, friends, and loved ones, face the possibility of being forcefully returned to the gang violence, kidnapping, extortion, exploitation, food insecurity, chaos, and instability that they narrowly escaped. This is not a prediction, it's a lived reality. If returned to Haiti, their oppression and hardship is an inevitability. And if there's any doubt on that truth, we need only look to the painful reality faced each and every single day by the women and girls who still reside in Haiti. Today, Haitian women and girls are living through conditions so dire that they are difficult to put into words. Widespread sexual and gender-based violence, mass displacement, near total exclusion from political power, and the atrocities go on and on. If and when TPS expires, hundreds of thousands more will be condemned to the same devastation. The resolution we have introduced today makes our thoughts on the matter clear. We condemn the widespread gender-based violence. We stress the importance of women's leadership in Haiti's transition, and we urge the United States to abide by its commitments under the Women in Peace and Security Act. In a just and decent nation, these words would not have to pass through the halls of Congress to be accepted as a universal truth. But that is not what America is today under the brutal thumb of the Trump administration. My colleagues and I have repeatedly urged the administration to extend protections for our most vulnerable neighbors. February 3rd is only days away. Thus far, our call has gone unanswered. We will not cease until it is heard. So let me thank you. And with that, let me take this opportunity to introduce the gentlelady from South Florida, Congresswoman Sheila Surfalis McCormick.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Madam Chair and the CBC and the Haiti Caucus for recognizing this dire issue. As we're approaching in a few days February 3rd, we understand that February 3rd could be a devastating moment for 350,000 Haitians who are in the United States, but also our economy. I'm so happy that Rep. Clarke has introduced this resolution that finally recognized the trauma that women are suffering in Haiti. Too many times I've gotten calls from family members where the gangs are attacking the women to intimidate the families and even get their children to start participating in the gangs. This is not the society that we should condone or we should even uplift or even approve of, much less to take the Haitian Americans who have been working in the United States, learning skills, and send them back into that area. So not only do we uplift the issue of the violence against women and children, but we understand that if we take these measures to allow this deportation to occur, that it would actually be economic sabotage to us here in the United States. Haitian Americans who are here are Haitian TPS holders. They bring over $35 billion into the United States. In South Florida, they are responsible for over $10 billion in South Florida. They hold jobs as nurses, as practitioners, as construction workers, and other skills jobs. If we allow 350,000 people to leave the country with a mass exodus, this will destroy our economy. And so if we're trying to put America first would mean to allow Haitian TPS holders to have a delayed deportation so they can actually stay here and continue to work until we are able to even replace or replenish them, but also allowing our economies to thrive. In addition to that, the compassion that we've had consistently needs to be upheld here. In no other country have we sent people back where you have such violence against women and girls, where we have such recruitment of young children into gangs, where we see this perpetual assault on families. And this should not be the case here. And so we are asking for a deferred enforcement of deportation until Haiti can come to a resolution and until Congress can pass a permanent pathway for Haitians. And thank you so much, Yvette Clarke, for having this, Ms. Chairwoman. And now I would like to introduce and pass it over to my colleague from Florida, Ms. Frederica Wilson. Oh, sorry. Grace Meng. You're closest to me.
From New York.
Yes, from New York.
Florida sounds good this weekend. Thank you so much to my colleague, Congresswoman Jeffries McCormick, and of course, thank you to our CBC chair and my colleague and friend, Congresswoman Yvette Clarke, for bringing us together today. I'm Congresswoman Grace Meng from Queens, New York, home to the world's borough and a vibrant Haitian community that enriches our city every single day. The situation in Haiti is dire today. This country faces one of the world's most severe humanitarian crises. Widespread violence has forced millions of Haitians from their homes. People are hungry, and the need for humanitarian aid grows by the day. Women and girls are bearing an especially heavy burden, facing horrific sexual and gender-based violence. They have been silenced and shut out of leadership, with no women currently serving on Haiti's Transitional Presidential Council. On February 3rd, temporary protected status for Haitians living in my Queens community and so many others across the country is set to expire. Many are watching anxiously, terrified of being sent back to the same violence and instability they fled. We cannot allow that to happen. While Secretary Nome claims that life is improving in Haiti, that is not the reality for Haitians who are struggling to access basic resources, and Haitian women and girls who are being targeted by gangs and assaulted in displacement camps. No one should be forced to live in these conditions. The United States government must not send people back to them. As a member of the House Appropriations Subcommittee on National Security, State Department, and related programs, I fought with my colleagues to deliver life-saving assistance and support efforts to restore stability for the people of Haiti. Today, at this critical moment for Haitian women and girls, I'm proud to stand with my colleagues in supporting Congresswoman Clarke's resolution condemning the horrific violence they face and affirming our commitment to women's leadership in Haiti's path forward. Protecting the rights and safety of women and girls is not only moral, it is essential to building a stable and prosperous future for Haiti. Haitian communities at home and abroad are watching. We must continue to stand with them and fight for their future. Next, I'd like to... Next, we will have our leader, Hakeem Jeffries.
I hope I have permission to jump over Frederica Wilson, otherwise I'm in deep trouble. But I'm certainly thankful for Congresswoman Yvette Clarke and her tremendous leadership, and of course Debbie and Frederica, Sheila, my good friend Grace Meng. It's a Florida, New York thing, in part because as members of the New York delegation, as members of the Florida delegation, we understand how important the Haitian American community has been to vitality and prosperity in our states. And of course, we also understand that many Haitians who have been here for years, pursuant to TPS, have been contributing to communities all across the country in ways that have improved the livelihood of those communities. I stand in strong support of Congresswoman Clarke's resolution, particularly as it relates to the protection of women, children, girls, and families. The situation in Haiti right now is not conducive to women or girls, children, or families returning to a safe environment. There's still a significant amount of progress that needs to be made with respect to an environment that has far too much gang violence, sexual violence, and gender violence. And it is inhumane to send hundreds of thousands of people back to an environment that the Trump administration knows objectively places them at risk. And so I join the call for the extension of TPS beyond the expiration that is pending in early February, and also support the effort to come to a comprehensive solution. Congress should act in connection with the broken immigration system that we have and recognize the value of hardworking immigrants, which has always been part of the great American journey. And so I thank you, Congresswoman Clarke, for your great leadership. We've been joined by Stacey Plaskett. She does represent the Virgin Islands, but she's from New York City as well. And so we've kept the theme going. And I'm so appreciative of all of my colleagues, and I yield back.
We will now hear from Congresswoman Frederica Wilson, the great state of Florida.
Thank you so much, Congresswoman Clarke. And thank you for joining all of us today. And thank you to each and every one of you for your participation. My Haitian constituents have begun to receive emails from the Department of Homeland Security, urging them to self-deport and warning that if they don't, they will be arrested and deported, and they will never be able to return to the United States again. And they are terrorized. They're terrorized. Haitian nationals. This is cruelty, this is inhumane, and this is a death sentence, because we already know the consequences. Because in Haiti, there's open warfare and rape. There's ravaging violence against women and children. There are no school days, no work schedule. You do what the gangs want you to do. To the Trump administration and those of you I know personally who have worked with us through the years on the Haiti issue, I ask you today to please hear our call for help for our Haitian nationals who are about to be deported. This is a humanitarian crisis beyond belief. My constituents sent me to Congress to address affordability, rising health care costs, and the dismantling of the Department of Education, and they all asked me to do what I could to protect my immigrant-rich community from the cruelty of ICE and long-term detentions. Please remember, TPS is not free. They paid hundreds of dollars so that they could come out of the shadows and work. They enrolled in TPS so that they could pay taxes, support their families, and educate their children. They never expected Haiti to turn into a war zone. They did not create the violence, the murders, the rapes, the kidnappings, and the terror in Haiti. The U.S. has consistently extended TPS for countries where conditions have made return unsafe. TPS for Yemen has been extended repeatedly due to ongoing armed conflict, economic collapse, and a prolonged humanitarian emergency. For Sudan, TPS continues because of severe violence, mass displacement, and the breakdown of state institutions. In both cases, the United States recognizes that the passage of time alone does not resolve the qualifying conditions. Haiti's situation is indeed comparable, and in many instances is even more severe. There's a travel advisory for Haiti, and American citizens cannot go to Haiti. American citizens cannot go to Haiti. So why would you send Haitians back there? Haiti has circumstances out of the realm of self-deportation. You are asking them basically to commit suicide because many of them will die. I implore you, Mr. President, and those who have the slightest bit of decency in your conscience to extend TPS for Haitians. I'm proud now to introduce my colleague from Florida, Ms. Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Congresswoman Wilson. Thank you, Chairwoman Clarke, and the leader and leaders of the Haiti Caucus for bringing much-needed attention to the crisis facing Haitian American families. Haitian Americans contribute so much to our nation. I'm proud to represent this amazing community in South Florida alongside my colleagues that are here today. They lift each other up through faith, they raise their voices for justice, and they engage deeply in local and national politics. They stand up for friends and family still on the island, and they always support other communities who face racism and hatred. And as the descendant of immigrants who fled repression and anti-Semitism myself, I'll always fight for Haitians and all those who seek a better life in America. That fight is more important now than ever. Hundreds of thousands of law-abiding Haitians are at risk of losing their TPS in mere days. This is a real emergency. TPS recipients are not criminals. They work hard, follow the law, and earn everything they have. In fact, TPS recipients actually have to repeatedly pass background checks. Many have U.S. citizen children, and none of us are better off if they're sent into lethal danger back home in Haiti. President Trump is terminating TPS for Haitians based on the claim that conditions there are safe enough to return. Nothing could be further from the truth. Haiti is overrun by criminal gangs who kidnap women and girls, extort residents for protection money, and kill with impunity. And since Trump's decimation of USAID, hunger and poverty are even worse than before. The situation is so dire that the U.S. is actively supporting a peacekeeping mission to restore order and security. How can you argue Haiti is dangerous enough to send troops in and also safe enough to send families back into? The answer is that this decision isn't about safety or security for America or Haiti. It's about the racist lies that Trump tells about Haitians. It's sickening to think my Haitian friends and neighbors can be sent back there. That's why we are here today fighting back. I've led and signed amicus briefs to defend TPS for Haitians in court and use my platform and my position on the Appropriations Committee to fight for humane treatment of Haitian immigrants alongside Congresswoman Mang. Just yesterday, I filed an amendment to block DHS from deporting Haitian TPS recipients with no criminal record. And I'll continue to fight alongside my dear friends in both the Congressional Black and Haiti caucuses, which I am a proud member of. And I just hope that Republicans will reach across the aisle to help us protect Haitians from unnecessary harm and hardship. The Haitian people have been put through enough. They deserve our support, and they'll always have mine. Thank you so much. And I know Congresswoman Wilson has already spoken, so I'll turn it back over to Chairwoman Clarke.
Thank you very much, Congresswoman Wasserman Schultz. It's now my honor and privilege to bring to the podium Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett of the United States Virgin Islands.
Thank you so much. Chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, Yvette Clarke. Thank you to my colleagues that are here. And thank you to Minority Leader Jeffries for having come and spoken on this dire state of life, and particularly to support the women and girls that are in Haiti. We know that women and girls in Haiti are facing extreme and worsening conditions. You've heard from my colleagues what is happening on the ground on the island. We understand what happens in war-torn areas. We don't need to go into all of the terrible details that are happening there. That's why I'm so grateful and proud to be one of the co-sponsors of this resolution, which makes it clear that failing to center women's leadership and address their distinct security, humanitarian, and human rights needs undermines the efforts to restore security, democratic governance, and sustainable development in Haiti. As you've heard, we cannot ask for an end, a cessation to violence, while at the same time putting women and girls in that violence. I'm proud of the work that we've done in the House to pass Renewal for Haiti Hope Help, a trade preference program, and keeping Haiti's economy afloat following the program's expiration at the end of 2025. But there is so much more assistance that Haiti needs to get back up on its feet. We, as Americans, have an obligation to our neighbor. We are not doing this merely out of the goodness of our heart. This is a pact that we have made with Haiti. When they first came to our assistance as Americans to support us in our own independence, and then after their independence, when we as Americans stood passively by while French warships arrived in April of 1825, extorting payment for Haiti's freedom, which has led to the economy that they have now, the total collapse. Billions of dollars leaving Haiti over 100 years to supply to France for their freedom. America would never have accepted that of their own to pay Britain for their own independence. That's not only been America's failure. For 2 centuries, the United States has broken commitments to Haiti. We occupied the country militarily from 1915 to 1934. We've propped up dictators. We've undermined democratic governance. We've stood aside while Haiti suffered engineered despair and destitution. And then, after horrendous conditions, when we've opened temporary protective status to individuals who have, as you've heard, paid fees, continue to pay taxes, follow background checks, have to show employment, and support through remittances those families that are there, we've decided we're going to pull the rug up underneath them and make them go back. This is about racism. This is about America's continued quest to push down others that they believe leadership and those in power don't believe look like them for their own benefit. America's greatness, as you heard from my colleague Debbie Wasserman Schultz, is America's continued ability to recreate itself, to bring in new creativity through other immigrants who come here. So many people you hear say, my family did it the right way. Well, these Haitians have done it the right way. Temporary protective status was the right way. And now we're the ones who are doing it the wrong way. I urge action on this resolution and far more. Our nation must finally help Haiti recover, not just in word, not just through guns, not just through bags of food, but through a comprehensive plan to support that nation, bring it back into stability, and so that eventually those individuals that are here living in America under temporary status can go back to the home that they call home and continue the prosperity of that nation. Thank you so much, Madam Chairwoman, for allowing me to speak, and I'll yield back to you.
Thank you for your powerful words, Congresswoman. Thank you so much, Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett, for your insight, and to all of my colleagues who really, I think, drove the point home. Since and before Donald Trump retook power, his administration has relentlessly targeted Haitian communities and Haitian nationals. From the campaign trail where he and his vice president slandered Haitians with vile lies, to their constant vacillation today between cruel apathy and targeted depravity, this administration has made it clear that the suffering of innocent people is beyond their concern and a goal worth pursuing. From where I stand, it's clear that this administration views harm as a natural progression of prejudice. And if the only flaw of their bigotry is if brutality does not follow, their cowardly xenophobia will never sway us. We know the Haitian diaspora has enriched our communities and strengthened our economy for decades. We know they are a resilient and vibrant people whose culture and contributions are deeply woven into the fabric of this nation. But I have seen their pain firsthand. I've walked beyond the barbed wire fences of the Delaney Hall Detention Center. I spoke to the shackled women and men who walked the bloody beaches of Port-au-Prince and dreamed of an America that would free them from their fading futures. They deserve better than Donald Trump. They deserve more than temporary relief. We must sustain our advocacy to secure lasting safety, stability, and opportunity for Haitian families. That means extending temporary protected status, ending the harmful enforcement practices, and committing to policies that save lives, restore dignity, and promote stability in Haiti. As we close, let me be clear. We will not be silent, and we will not retreat in the face of fear or injustice. Our communities are strongest when we stand together, when we are united and look out for one another and demand better from those in power. Temporary protection can save countless from permanent devastation, but time is running out. So let me thank you all, from members of the press, for joining us here today. Let me thank my colleagues for their ongoing and relentless pursuit of justice and human dignity for Haitians under temporary protected status and the wider Haitian diaspora here in the United States. And with that, I will take any questions that you may have. Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you all for those DHS officials. They say that the conditions on the ground as they interpret them have improved to the point that it's not temporarily unsafe for Haitians to return. So many of you shared constituent stories, things that you've heard from your constituents, from folks on the ground. Can you share a little bit more about what you've heard, these personal stories that kind of run counter to what the administration is saying about the conditions on the ground? I guess to help the American people kind of understand what you all are seeing compared to what the administration is saying.
Well, we know, as I think it was Debbie Wasserman Schultz who stated that right now, we are supporting a UN mission to go after these gangs. It's a military mission with militaries coming from different parts of the world to really try to put down what has become a major, major warfare in the nation of Haiti. In terms of personal stories, I've had constituents who've been kidnapped, who have gone to Haiti and have actually been kidnapped and had their families extorted by the same gangs. And what do they do with the money they receive from kidnappings? What do they do with the money they extort? They buy arms. And where do they buy those arms from? The United States of America. So we are somewhat complicit, all the way complicit, in a lot of what is taking place. And we know that particularly those who are deported from the United States are seen as prime targets because they haven't lived in that civil society in years, in some cases in decades. So they're not equipped with sort of the situational awareness on the ground. And those will be the ones who will be targeted for extortion, for rape, for kidnappings. This is the everyday engagement that Haitians are faced with as these gangs continue to recruit from families, their young ones, to perpetuate the power and authority of these gangs in Haiti. And so it's until a governance structure is really erected where folks can be brought to justice, it is a very dangerous, unstable environment for these Haitian nationals under temporary protected status here in the United States to return to. I don't know if you wanted to share anything, Stacey.
No, I think you said it very succinctly. I think the other things we need that are other factors that would be consideration of a place not being safe is the fact that many of the gang members were formerly police officers. Mm-hmm. Police have not been paid in many years, and they've turned to violence and to the gangs to be able to sustain their families. So you have, in some cases, police, law enforcement, militarized gangs that are the ones in control. There are no more judges. So if, in fact, individuals have rule of law questions, there isn't a court to really arbitrate that, to deal with issues. And we as members of Congress are not allowed to go to Haiti. And so if it were safer than it had been in the past when we were allowed, mm-hmm. why is it now that members of Congress cannot go on the ground onto the country of Haiti? I think the facts themselves speak for themselves and speak against anything that Homeland Security is saying.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Any other questions? Well, let me thank you all so very much for attending today's press conference. To be continued. The clock is ticking on temporary protected status. We're very concerned about the women and girls of Haiti and those who will be returned there. Thank you.